Hello there, channel members, friends, and followers from around the world. This is Q8 Pilot, your host for tonight's show. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be flying the Toliss A320 Neo service from Tampa International Airport to Pensacola International in the state of Florida. It's a local flight today, and we are using ORBX scenery. Also featured in this live stream is payware airport KPNS, our destination airport today. And we have the developer with us today, Captain Lee, to answer all your questions. And before we begin and delve into the details of this stream, I want to welcome all of you guys. We have Alex Stefanos, Ferdinand Foster, Ryan, Captain Lee, welcome aboard. Glad to have you with us here. Mats Franson, welcome, my friend. Thank you very much, channel members, for your continued support. And thank you, everyone else, for being here and supporting the stream. We've got also today Pedro Gonzalez. Welcome aboard, AppGeek09. It's been a while, my friend. How have you been? Glad to have you here. All right, so today, folks, we are going to be doing one of those real-world procedure flights where we actually go through the entire checklist from start to finish, with the exception of maybe the shutdown procedure. And hopefully we'll be able to do a replay of our landing over at Pensacola International. Lovely ORBX scenery today, so let's get things started. And we're going to begin today by taking a look at a brief of our flight plan, as well as the weather information at the departure and destination airports. We will then begin with the cockpit preparation. We will begin with the preliminary safety check, and then, of course, perform the before start checklist, start our engines, takeoff. Well, let's take a look at our flight plan before we delve into the details of this flight. So we're going to bring up our friendly Navigraph charts, and you can see here, let me take it to the flight. We're going to do this together here today. We can see that the departure runway does not have favored wind today at Tampa International. So what we're going to do is we are going to change the departure to 01 left. So let's do that now. Right, so we're going to add 01 left through the same departure, the ended 1 through the Laysan transition. And then we're going to be arriving into Pensacola International runway 17. We're performing an ILS approach. As you can see, we have a headwind of 12 knots and a crosswind of 4 knots. Our flight is quite simple today. Here, as you can see, we're going to be flying north of Tampa, or northwest of Tampa towards Pensacola, and it should be a nice approach. It's again on the ocean there, so we should have some nice views of the ORBX scenery and the beautiful 3D waters in X-Plane as we arrive into our destination airport. And once we land there, we are going to take a look at the airport, and I'm going to tell you, what are the pros and cons, or the highs and lows of our payware airport today, featured in this live stream. Alternate airport today is Armstrong New Orleans International. And with that, we can start. We can take a look at the weather a little quick here at Tampa. So we're going to go to the airport information, the weather information here at Tampa International. We have 0506 knot wind. Visibility is 10 miles. Scattered clouds at 5,000. Temperature is currently 29 Celsius with an altimeter of 3013. Everything else is looking good for our flight. And we have a ceiling of at least 12,000 AGL and temperature 29 Celsius. 29 Celsius. Yep, that's correct. So this is everything decoded with a humidity of 45%. All right, perfect. With that, we can head over to the cockpit of the updated Toliss A320, and we're going to begin with the preliminary safety check. First thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure that the engine master is in the off position, which it is. As you can see here, engine 1 and 2 are in the off position. The engine mode selector is off. The weather radar, let me remove the handrest here. So the armrest, you can see the weather is off. And next, the landing gear is in the down position. The wipers are currently off, both left and right. And we have the batteries showing more than 25.5 volts. That checks okay. And now we can start battery 1 and 2. Louis, hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you here. King Cali, hello, my friend. Welcome. Boeing Corp Mike, welcome aboard, my friend. All right, so battery 1 and battery 2. And now we can turn on the external power. All right, with the external power on, we can continue with the preliminary safety check. Now, normally you'd wait for the ding. We don't get the ding here. Let me just bring up the lights here real quick so we can see what's going on. Oop. Not exactly what I wanted to do. There we go. And also the upper and lower ECAMs. Perfect. And we can also... All right, there we go. If the ATC chatter, you know what, let me just go ahead and toggle the control panel. Let me reduce the sound a little bit. There we go. All right, so now that we are done with the battery external power is on, we can do the APU fire test. And it checks okay. And the cockpit light are as required. Now we're going to head over down here and we're going to go to the ECAM. And we are going to hold the ECAM recall for 3 seconds. All right, all's looking good here. And if we go to the ECAM engine page, all right, we're going to make sure that we have more than 14 quarts of oil, which we do. ECAM hydraulic page. We can see the yellow here is good. Everything here is looking good. Excellent. Next, we're going to go to the pressure page. And from the pressure page, we just want to make sure that the landing elevation auto appears here. Flaps are retracted. Parking brake is set. Speed brakes are disarmed. And we have all the equipment we need aboard the aircraft. So everything's good there. Excellent. Now, the first officer is going to conduct the walk around. And we will continue with the before start flow. First thing, crew supply is on. Ground control is on. CVR tested. ADDONS. Nav 1, 2, and 3. Strobes can go to auto. Nav lights are on. No smoking assigned to auto. And seatbelt signs are on. Emergency lights are armed. Fuel panel. Since we haven't refueled the aircraft yet, we will turn on the left and right and leave the center tanks. All right, perfect. So now we're done with the first part, and now we can perform the engine fire test. Engine 1 and 2. Engine 1. Engine 2, fire test is complete. And then we're going to go to the engineer panel up there and make sure there are no whites. So everything looks good on the engineer panel. Excellent. And then we're going to move down here and we're going to make sure the standby equipment is operational here. As you can see, everything's looking good. The clock is operational. Captain's side radio, the passenger, let's make sure there we go. Passengers, there is on, and we're going to make sure it's on the first officer side as well. And then we're going to move here to the switching part. We're going to make sure all of our knobs here are on the normal position. And then the alternate, the thrust is in idle detent. Parking brake is set. FO radio is passenger is on, and the transponder is on 2000. Standby is set. This one does not have, okay, so standby here. This one has only auto, so this is a bit different from the Airbus A320. And now we are done. We can now start doing the Mcdu setup. And as you recall from the previous flight, we're going to follow the diff strip sequence. So let me bring this here. Okay, so diff strip, that stands for data, init alpha, flight plan, secondary plan, radio nav, init Bravo, and then performance. So this is the sequence that we're going to follow to program the Mcdu. Again, for those of you who are joining for the first time and haven't seen my previous stream, we're going to follow the diff strip sequence. So, all right, data is here. Engine is the CFM LEAP engine. The active nav database is current, and we are good there. We're going to go to init alpha, and we're going to enter the flight information. The departure airport is Kilo Tango Papa Alpha. That's Tampa International. And we're heading to Pensacola, which is Kilo Papa KPNS. All right, perfect. Our flight number today is we can get from our SimBrief plan. So let me bring the plan here. And we're going to leave it over on this side. Bring up the operational flight plan, our Frontier 1307. So FT 1307. Brilliant. Next, let me put this always on top. Excellent. Break Teller, how are you doing, my friend? How are you liking the new update Q8? Seems they gave so much love for the sounds and ground services. Yep, absolutely. Are you using Volanta? No, I'm not using Volanta today. All right, so the cost index is 24. All right, 24. And the cruise altitude is, for this flight, 34,000 feet. Excellent, 34,000. We're just going to check here RSINET. Again, you do not do align on reference because that will mess up your alignment. You're going to leave it as it is, and it will automatically align. Let's cancel this. Everything here looks good. Let's make sure this temperature here is correct. So if we go to our flight plan, and we're going to take a look here at the, let's see. Seiko, that's okay. Let's go to the weather real quick. And let's see. That's the NOTAMs. Where's my weather? All right. Not sure where the... All right, we'll just assume that it has the right number. I can't find the weather here. All right, that's okay. We'll just assume that this is the correct number there. That's fine. And we are now done with the init A. So we're done with this one here. So we're going to go now to the flight plan. The flight plan is done in the following sequence. It's departure, arrival, and then the route. So we're going to go to Tampa, select our departure, which we're going to ignore what we have here. We're going to take whatever we entered in the plan here. So we're going to go with 01 left. So 01 left is the departure airport, and the SID is the ended one, which is this one. Strange name for a SID. And insert. And then we're going to go to the arrival. That's the LACE in transition, so that's what we're expecting to see, KPNS. And the arrival is going to be the ILS runway 17 through. There is actually no, star, so it's direct from Destin to KPNS runway 17. So that's good. Approach, there is none there, so no star. And then we are going to go here and say insert. All right, so no star. And now we can see here there's KPNS. Looks like we have one discontinuity here. So let's take a look at our... all right, so from Layson, we are going to fly direct to Patoy. So Patoy. Come on. Patoy. And then from Patoy, we're going to take Quebec 116. So Patoy, Airway, Quebec 116. And we're going to exit at Georgia. Georgia. Where is my J? All right, there we go. Georgia. Brilliant. All right, then direct to FIPS. So we're going to say insert. We're going to insert that. And then from Georgia, we're going to fly direct to FIPS. IPS. Excellent. And from PIPS, we're going to fly direct to Destin. Right, Destin is in there. Excellent. And then it's our destination into the airport. So now we can clear this discontinuity. All right, and insert. And now we have our entire flight plan into the Mcdu. So if we go here to plan, and now we can cycle through. Let me do that. All right, so we can take a look now. We'll go to flight plan. And this is our departure manual. We're going to make the left turn, and then it's our flight to... That looks good. Yeah, all looks good to me. Excellent. And put this back on arc. And now we are done with the flight plan. All right. So this one here is okay. Once we depart, we'll take a look at our departure charts and look at the instructions. But it looks like it's a manual departure 01 left, and then we'll fly direct to end it, which is the transition. All right, perfect. Very good. All right, so we are done with the flight plan, and now we go to the secondary flight plan. So from the secondary plan, we're just going to copy the active, and then from the secondary plan, we're going to go to radio navigation. Now, from the radio navigation, you see that the LS frequency for for the runways have been selected, so we are good. This is the same runway that we're departing from, so that's okay. We can leave that as it is. We don't really need to add any additional navigational aids based on our departure here. So if we look at the departure here, this is the ended one departure. So we don't really need to add any additional nav aids. We are good. Takeoff obstacle notes. Set takeoff obstacle notes this SID requires takeoff minimums. For standard minimums, refer to the airport chart. Runway 1 left and right or lower standard within climb 500 per nautical mile to 540. Okay. So it says climb to heading of 007 to 540, then on heading 003 or as assigned by ATC. All right, perfect. All right, so we're good here, and everything looks good here. And now we can go to init B or init Bravo, and from init Bravo, so we're going to go to init here, and we're going to go to the next page. All right, there we go. And now we can enter our zero fuel and weight. All right, so today I'm not going to use SimBrief, although this feature reduces the workload significantly in the cockpit. But I thought that it would be good to just kind of show you guys everything manually. If you want to use SimBrief, I've done it in previous flights, but it's also good to be able to know how to load this aircraft manually, just in case, SimBrief integration isn't working or the support for it stops, then you can always go for the alternative route. All right, so we're going to bring up our flight plan once more. We don't need this guy. All right, so we're going to put this one over here. We're going to go down to the payload. So we have the number of passengers. So loading, so 165 is the number of passengers. There we go. And the payload is about 4.1, so 2,000 here and 2,000 here. That's a bit excessive, isn't it? All right. And the fuel required is 5.9. All right, 5.9. We apply these. Looks like we're above. All right, I'm going to reduce the number of passengers here. So we're going to go with 140 passengers. Upload these settings a little bit less than that. All right, let's go with 120 passengers. How about that? There we go. 120 passengers is just right about right there. So that should work. All right, perfect. And we're going to set the config flaps 1. And now we have all our data here. So I'm interested in the zero fuel first. So we're going to enter the zero fuel, which is 60.32. So that's 60.32. And the zero fuel weight center of gravity is 27.8. So that's 27.8. And we're going to enter that here. Excellent. And the block fuel is 5.9. And by the way, everything is in kilos, guys. So, and the alternate, if we take a look here at our flight plan, the alternate is 1739. So 1.7, right, for the 1.79. No, doesn't want that. All right, let's take a look here. 1739. Why is it not wanting to the 179? 1.2 maybe? Doesn't want to do it. All right, I'm just going to put 2. See if that works. Doesn't want to do it. All right, well, no worries. Let's just leave it there. All right, so we are done with init B. We have the weight. We have the final time. More than 30 minutes, which is a legal requirement, so we are good there. And everything else is good here. Excellent. Now we can go to the performance page. So from the performance page, we can add our V1, which is 147. No, we're not going to use toga thrust. We're going to use flex. So 147 and 147 and 149 are our speeds. Transition altitude in the US of A is 18,000 feet. Hello there, Will. Welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you here. Thank you very much for your support. Appreciate it. All right. And flaps 1 for departure. Flaps 1. Again, you don't need to put anything here. And flex temperature is 73. 73. And we entered that here. Excellent. Now we have all our information here. And if we go to, by the way, from init B, so if we go here, 27.8 is the number we're going to need to put here. 27.8. And that would be 0.7 up. So 28.2. Yeah, that's close. 28.2. Yeah, sorry. 28.2 is what we need to set. And this is about right here, 28.2, which is about 0.7. Okay, so all right, so we'll remember that later. All right, so we are done here, and now we can go to the progress page. And from the progress page, we want to make sure of 2 things. One, we want to enter the runway. So I'm just going to enter Kilo Tango Papa Alpha, which is Tampa. And maybe we'll put just the same runway. So 01 left, 01, 01 left, and enter it here just in case we need to return back to the airport. And also we want to make sure that the accuracy here shows high. And it does indeed, so we are good. Arrival runway in case of an emergency. is back the same runway, which is 01 left. And we are good here with the Mcdu setup. So we're going to set this to, we have one, this one, it's okay, that's fine. So we'll set this on performance, and we'll put the first officer on the flight plan. All right, perfect. And now we can continue with our before start flow. Passenger signs are on. And let's see here. Center tank, now we can turn those on since we have the aircraft fueled and ready to go. And now we can start the APU. Master APU on, and we wait for 3 seconds. 1, 2, and 3, and then start. We'll wait for the oxygen test. Now, quite surprisingly, the oxygen is not simulated, and the only thing that is simulated is if you click here, it actually puts the mask on, but you can't actually open this to test it, which is kind of a shame. You know, I would love to have that. One other thing I've noticed on the Airbus armrest, there is always the position here, and that is not modeled in this. I'm not sure if the Neo has it. It should, but it doesn't seem to have it on this particular aircraft. But yeah, not a big deal. All right, so everything's good here. We are good. Oxygen test, we'll assume that it's done. And let's put this away. And now we can set up our glare shield here and set the first thing we're going to do the QNH, and this is not in the right format. So that is the correct format now. And we're going to take a look at the weather here at Tampa. So we're going to go to the airport's information, weather information 3013. We can also use active sky 3013. All right, and we'll do the same thing here. 3013 is set. We're going to make sure the constraints is set here on the display on the EFIS control panel. That is the correct naming convention for EFIS control panel. And next, we're going to set our altitude to 34,000 feet, which is the final cruise altitude for this flight today. Excellent. So that is done. And the weather we'll leave on the first officer's side. So we'll leave the weather here, and we'll just keep the terrain on our side. So terrain on ND. Here, we can turn this on, as a matter of fact. APU bleed is now on. External power is off. And the before start checklist. All right, cockpit preparation is completed. Signs on and auto. ADDONS, nav, and nav. Fuel quantity is currently 7,000 kilos balanced. We put 5.9, didn't we? All right, that's all right. And FMGS is set. Altimeter is 3013, 35 feet. And the before start checklist to the line is complete. All right, and now we can get our clearance. Before start checklist down to the line. Windows and doors are closed. Beacon is on. Mobile phone is off. The parking brake is set. And we can start the clock. All right, and we assume now that we have our clearance and we are ready to go. Hey there, Bugs, how are you doing? I would have to agree with you that the performance needs to be optimized there for sure, without a shadow of a doubt. Now, I don't know if better pushback is going to work or not, so I'm not going to take any chances, and we are going to try and use the pushback of X-Plane, because I've had issues when, you know, with active sky. So we'll just use an aircraft landing there. Not sure where the guy went, but we're ready for push now. Maybe he's gone somewhere, and he'll come shortly. We'll see. I think he went inside these buildings. Still don't see anything here. Strange. Alright, let's try a better pushback. Is that our guy? I don't know. Yeah, it looks like this is our guy. Maybe this is our guy. Let's see. He's figuring out his way. Alright. I don't know what this guy's doing, so let's try a better pushback. Start push.
Cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
Alright, let's do that.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Hopefully it'll work. If it doesn't, then, you know, we'll just have to kind of steer the aircraft and just do funny things. The scenery does look very good, yes. And by the way, this is the default Tampa. So this is Tampa International. And this is default scenery. Of course, we're using ORBX True Earth today for the state of Florida. And this is the HD version of the True Earth. I think he's finally here. All right. Perfect. And let's make sure that we remove the... let's go here. Let's make sure ground services off and off. Excellent.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Perfect. All right. We're just waiting for pushback for engine start. Hello there, Carl Childers is in the house. Niels, hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you here. Did Toliss do an update for the Neo? Yes, sir. All right. I'm not sure what's going on in here on the outside. Ah, looks like now the other guy is here as well.
Tow connected and bypassed and in service. Release parking brake.
All right, parking brake released.
Starting pushback. And you may start engines.
All right. Oh, okay. So better pushback seems to be working, so that's good. All right, let's go and start our engines then. Perfect. So we're going to begin with the engine mode selector to ignition start and begin with engine number 2. Let's look at how beautiful this aircraft is with the Frontier livery. Very nice. Where's the nice engine sounds? I think I can barely hear them.
Clarence American 1842 with Tango going to Charlotte.
All right.
American 1842.
Engine startle coming up.
Yes, sir. How may I help?
Yeah, our A-car is down, so I guess I'm getting to it the hard way.
American 1842, rapidly to Charlotte Airport.
Saffron Agrawal, how are you doing, my friend? What are all the plugins you use? I don't really use that much. I don't really use that many plugins, to be honest. So I'm not really using anything other than XP Realistic and Active Sky for the weather. That's about it. Right, we have a good start on engine number 1. Let's start in engine number 2. Let's start engine number 1. All right, perfect. There we go.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
All right, let's set the parking brake.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
All right, now we're going to check the engines here. The second engine is coming up, so engine number 1 is now starting. And we'll just wait for that. And then we'll do the after start flow, followed by the after start checklist. Why is the engine not starting?
9611.
Ah, finally.
9611, information Tango. We're going to Louisville. Our PDC was more than 2 hours old. Said to call you.
The engines are very quiet. I like the other engine
Toliss
sets.
disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
All right, thank you for your service. And we'll just wait for the... All right, looks like we are now on the generators. And pushback is away. Ooh, look at, guys, look at that. Coming right at us.
Say that again.
All right, looks like we have... All right, so the second engine is now good. And we're going to check for 2, 4, 6, and 3. That's 5. So that on the Neo it looks like it's a 5, not a 4. So 2, 5, 6, 3. That looks good to me. And now the bleed can go off. The APU master can go off. And the trim is 28.2. Sorry, 28.7, I believe it was. So 28.7, right about there, I think. That should be good. All right, excellent. So the trim is now set. And the spoilers are armed. Excellent. Reset the rudder trim. Is reset. Flaps, flaps 1 for departure. Status page. Normal. And the after start checklist. Anti-ice, not required. ECAM status is checked. Pitch trim is 28.7 set. Rudder trim, 0. And we are ready to go. Before taxi flow, we're going to do the flight control check. Let me remove that. All right, flight control check. Full up, full down, full left, full right, neutral, pedal, full left, full right, neutral. And auto brake is max. Weather radar is on. So we're going to put this on auto. We'll put this on system 1 and put this on auto, put that on auto, and set this on weather and turbulence. And we are good there. Engine mode selector, normal. And now we can set the TCAS to TARA. Excellent. Everything is set here. And the next thing we can do is the transponder is... No, transponder should be not TRA. Should be, this should be on standby, but this should be on. Okay. Now we can notify cabin crew to take their seats. And we'll do the takeoff config. Pitch trim disagree. Okay. I think maybe this is not exactly right. So let's clear that. All right, and now it's set. Perfect. Okay. Before takeoff checklist to the line, flight controls are checked. Briefing is completed. Flap settings config 1. FMA and takeoff data. 147 blue. 149 magenta. Climb nav blue. 1 FD2. 34,000 blue. Flex, what was our flex? Flex 73. Transponder, it is set. ECAM memo, takeoff, no blue. And the before takeoff checklist to the line is complete. And we are now, ladies and gentlemen, ready to taxi to the runway. All right. So the before taxi flow, and we've got taxi lights on. And as we enter the runway, we'll turn on the runway turn-off light. So we are good to go. Parking brake is released, and let's go. Took us a little bit of time to set things up, but we're all good. Mike, hello Mike, welcome aboard. Here in the air, how are you doing, my friend? You should set it to 28 lower than 30, but set it upper than 30, that's where you get the master caution. Yeah, that could be the reason. Right, let's head over to the runway now for departure. And the runway isn't too far from our current position. Look at that engine, just looks gorgeous. Alrighty. So with the Airbus, to keep it on the center line, you want to align the lines. These are the taxi lines with the tape here, just about, and that should keep you on the center line. How lovely. Look at those wings. I always get carried away with the views. Sergio, hello my friend. Good evening to you. EasyJet Sim Pilot, hello my friend. Usual SOP is not to turn on TARA until given the... That's correct, yeah. I turned it back off. You are correct. So the transponder is on standby right now, and we'll just turn it on. We'll set it to TRA before we enter the runway. You are correct. I'm glad you like the camera transitions. Traffic mod is Traffic Global by Just Flight. By the way, if we just look at this scenery here, being default scenery with ORBX, it looks actually pretty good, I have to say. All right. We're approaching the runway there. So the before takeoff checklist below the line, cabin secured for takeoff, engine mode selector is normal, TCAS, we can go TARA. All right, TARA is set. Anti-ice not required. We're gonna start the chrono right here before we forget it, like we normally do. Turn on the landing lights, runway turn off lights are on, strobes go to the on position, and nose lights goes to takeoff, and we are cleared for takeoff. Runway 01 left. All right, perfect.
Okay, sorry, Jack 2, Southwest 1307.
Frames are suffering a little bit today. I'm not sure why, but that's all right. We could have gone to the end, but that's okay. That should be fine. All right, here's the runway. It's a long runway, so we should be fine. All right, 50%.
Yeah, what are you showing wheels up time for us going to Philly?
Manflex 73 SRS and runway. V1. Rotate. Positive climb, gears going up. Flyby. How about that? All right. And we're about 17 degrees pitch. We're going to maintain the current heading here and begin the turn just in a little while. Right, set. Thrust climb is set. And we can begin the turn. So what we actually can do is we can come here to the flight plan and we can select direct to. So direct to ended, which is the transition. Insert. All right, and then we can say autopilot 1 is engaged. There we go. And we continue the climb.
Southwest 186 clear to the Tampa Airport via the Smoke 2 departure. Wallet transition, direct Oscar Tango Kilo, direct Tango.
Speed check, flaps up. All right, and we are going to disarm the speed brakes. Speed brakes are disarmed, and we can turn off the runway turn off and the nose lights. And we can also release cabin crew. Cabin crew are released. And the after takeoff checklist. Flaps retracted. Speed brake disarmed. Exterior lights, runway turn-off lights, and taxi lights are off. Cabin crew are released. And the after takeoff checklist is complete. All right, we're going to continue now our climb to 34,000 feet. Look at that, guys. Beautiful, just as the cloud smoothing is so nice. And I like what Active Sky XP does to X-Plane. In terms of weather generation, I think by far is the most accurate weather generation available today for X-Plane 12. Much better, by the way, than the default weather in X-Plane. All right, we're approaching I use Volanta occasionally, Captain Lee. I'm not using it today. Mike Porter, hello, my friend, from Baton Rouge. How are you doing, my friend? Welcome aboard. Do you use X Environment this flight? No, I'm using Active Sky with X-Plane default weather. Right, 10,000 feet. The landing lights can go off, and also we don't have any nav aids here that we need to clear, so we're good here. But we can go to the cost index and set it to 0, so we can save some fuel. So that is done, and according to the operator checklist that I use, we need to set the EFIS control panel to airports. Right, and we continue our climb now to 34,000 feet. All right, perfect. Very nice view here over the state of Florida. Quick reminder for everyone here on stream today, the Q8 Pilot channel is a platinum sponsor of FS Expo 2023, and this year I have the pleasure of announcing that I will be there in person, and we have a dedicated booth for the channel, booth H7. If you are going to be in the area and attending Flight Sim Expo, please be sure to stop by at booth H7 and come and say hello. And we have some nice giveaways prepared for you guys, some nice souvenirs to give away. So be sure to come and say hello. And there is also going to be a giveaway for the Honeycomb Bravo throttle quadrant, courtesy of the channel. What's the sticker on the left of the ND? I don't have it in my Neo. Sticker, oh, you mean this one here? I think this is specific to the livery. So if you download this livery of Frontier, you'll be able to see it. Registration number November 31 Foxtrot Romeo. You'll be able to see that. That's not within the default, it's livery specific. The co-pilot has dimmed instruments. Do him a favor. All right. Yeah, I agree there. Let's do him a favor. There you go. All right. He's happy now, I hope. Omar Flight. Hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you with us. Hello, Sergio. Yeah, it's this one here. All right. So 18,000 feet, Barrow to standard on both sides. And by the way, we can also release the passengers. They can go and wander around the cabin. And yeah, we're looking good. We're continuing our climb. And here's what things look like from the external perspective. What do you guys think? I tell you, with ORBX and Active Sky, X-Plane looks phenomenal. Yeah, look at that. Bye-bye. All right, all is looking good, and not too far from the top of climb. And everything is looking good. So, what do you guys think of the X-Craft's Embraer? Personally, I think it's a day one purchase. At least for me, it is. And of course, even though I have a copy from the developer because I'm a beta tester, I always go and purchase all my add-ons for two reasons. One is I support the developers, and two, I'd like to, when I say something, I don't want any bias in what I say. So that's why I purchase all the add-ons, including, by the way, the scenery that we are featuring today of Pensacola International in Florida. So the developer was very kind to offer me a copy, and I thanked him for the opportunity. But I purchased the scenery so that I can give you guys, again, my honest opinion of what I think. And we'll take a detailed look at the airport once we arrive. And all's looking good, 23,000, and we're looking good. Yeah, we can actually bring the tables. And, the first officer and myself, we don't have our laptops, but we're going to put our coffee here and have a sip of coffee, which I'm going to do right now. There we go. Yeah, it's a really very good aircraft. by Xcraft. And by the way, folks, I will be streaming the Embraer again with Xcraft's executive director on Tuesday at 1800 Zulu, the regular time. So be tuned for that. He's going to be joining me and on a route that he is going to select, and he's going to show us all the stuff that I was not able to show in the initial stream that I've done. I hope that I've shown enough, at least to help you guys fly the aircraft properly. But we're gonna be, he's gonna be the guest, guest of honor on the channel, and he's gonna show us around, and he's gonna talk to us about the development process and what are the difficulties, just kind of behind the scenes look over the development process of the E-Jets by Xcraft. So yeah, I think overall I'm very happy with the aircraft, the level of simulation, and I hope they keep on improving. They keep on adding things to it. Suffice it to say that real-world pilots, many of them actually have tested that aircraft, and they attest to the authenticity of its systems, the way it flies, its flight model. So you have something that has been tested by a number of real-world E-Jet pilots when you purchase the Xcraft family of aircraft. And by the way, I know a lot of guys will ask me, should I buy the entire, the entire suite, or should I buy, one or two? My take on this is the most popular of the E-Jets family is the E175, and all of the aircraft actually fly exactly the same. So in terms of what you do in the cockpit, is pretty much the same system-wise. But of course, the the 190, 195 have longer, have more surface ceiling and probably longer range, and they can carry more passengers. But if you are really particular about flying certain variants for certain real-world routes, then get the entire family of aircraft, and that way you'll be assured that you'll get the Lineage 1000 free of charge. But if not, if you're not very particular about that, just getting the 175 or your most favorite variant should be sufficient. That would be my take. Captain Lee, I don't know. Well, I can tell you that it's not going to be months. I have an idea when it's going to be released. I just unfortunately can't say. And the reason being, the developers did not want, just in case there is a last-minute problem with the aircraft, they don't want to make a promise that they cannot keep. And I totally respect that. So, they're going to take their sweet time to make sure the aircraft, at least initially upon release, that it does not have any major problems that would prevent folks from enjoying it. And for that, hats off, for them for doing that. I appreciate, this philosophy. And hopefully we'll see something very soon. That's all I can say. All I can say, Captain Lee, is that it's a good guess. Okay, I used the ones for XP11. It was very nice. It used to have some bugs, contrails on ground, but I'm sure they fixed it, and they really improved the textures and modeling, etc. So yeah, absolutely. Aviation with Elliot. How are you doing, my friend? Hi. What do you think of the new updated sound? I think they're okay. Yeah, no complaints. I think I like the sounds better in the previous version, to be honest. You mean the Toliss, if you're referring to the Toliss. Yeah, I kind of like the previous sounds better. They were more majestic, if you will. All right, 900 feet to top of climb. And by the way, not much before top of descent either. So if we go here and go to performance, so 3 nautical miles for the top of climb. And then we'll get the information for top of descent. So we'll just wait for a minute. here before the information updates. 16 minutes into our flight and about 19 minutes since we pushed out of the gate at Tampa, and everything is exactly how it should. Yeah. All right. So now we are at top of climb at 34,000 feet. There we go. Excellent. All right. So now we can see here we have the top of descent in 136 nautical miles. And we can actually do the approach, the initial Mcdu arrival preparation. If you guys recall from our previous flight, what you do in the Mcdu preparation, you follow the top hat sequence. The top hat sequence starts with flight plan, rad nav, progress, performance, fuel prediction. So this is the route that we're going to take, which is called the top hat sequence. So from the flight plan, what we're going to go first, let's go to the EFIS control here. We're going to set this to constraints, and then from the flight plan we're going to draw the 10 nautical mile or 7 nautical mile ring around the arrival airport, which is 17 at Pensacola. So we're going to go to do this, to draw the line. We're going to go to the very first one in the Mcdu, the first waypoint that appears in the Mcdu, and then we're going to go fix information. Here we're going to type in KPNS and then 17. So that's our fix, and we're going to create a 7 nautical mile radius here, and now we are done. Now if we go, by the way, to flight plan, and let me move this away so you guys can see, and we cycle through, you'll see that we have it here. Let me just change this here to 20 and cycle through. All right, so there we go. That's our, you can see here the 7 nautical mile ring. And the reason we create the 7 nautical mile is when we arrive into this circle here, can we bring this up? Yes, we can. All right, so once we arrive at the 7 nautical mile ring here, that's when we go from flaps 2 to flaps 3, and then flaps full, and then we lower the landing gear. All of that happens during this period here after we pass the 7 nautical mile ring. Okay? All right, so that is done and dusted. Next, we're going to go to the nav radio. We already can see that the frequency is already set, so we'll leave that as it is. We're going to go to the progress page, and we're going to update the arrival runway. The arrival runway is KPNS 17, and we're going to enter that here, and now we have the bearing and the distance to the actual runway. All right, all is good here, and then we can go and do the init. So we're going to go to the next page. Let's go here to the next, right, next. What am I doing? Performance. All right, here we go. All right, there we go. And now we can get the information from SimToolkit Pro. All right, here's SimToolkit Pro, and all we do is we're going to go to the information here, the weather information for our destination airport. And from here we can take the QNH. QNH at our destination is going to be 3012. So 30 and 12. Excellent. And the current temperature is 27, quite warm. Nice, but warm a little bit. And the wind is 150, 13 knots. Ooh, it's going to be an interesting approach. 150 degrees, 13 knot wind. Transition altitude is 18,000 feet, and we need the barrow. So we're going to come here and select runway 17. So let's come back here and go to KPNS approach, runway 17, and let's see here. All right, so that's 17, and we're interested in this one here. So 321. 321. All right, so 3, 2, 1 is set. Excellent. And we're good. The approach, the Mcdu preparation for the arrival is done. And we will do the approach checklist in just a little while in preparation for the descent into Pensacola. All right. Brilliant. Let's put this away. And I'll put this back here on the flight plan and change this back to ARC and put the distance on 80 nautical miles. You can see already ILS 17 is showing here. Excellent. Abdul Kareem, hello my friend, welcome. Glad to have you here with us. Air Kibris 001, welcome. Glad to have you here with us. Thank you for your subscription to the channel, Abdul Kareem. And we have also Serkan. Hello, Serkan. Welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you with us. Appreciate your support. Brown over blue. How are you doing? How is Active Sky? I love Active Sky. It's really, really good, especially after the last update. By the way, folks, in Active Sky, you can select the frequency. So if we put 122.0, that's the departure airport. 22.2 is I'll tell you why it hasn't done that. So we have to come here and we have to say SimBrief integration. And
Kilo Papa November
there you go.
Sierra Airport Information Lima 1845 Zulu weather wind 113 at 13 gusting to 19 visibility 10.
all right, so that's that. And then you can put to 122.5.
Abbreviated briefing from your current position to Kilo, Tango, Papa, Alpha, 2, Kilo, Papa, November, Sierra. Air Tango is valid for turbulence. Valid until 2100 Zulu. For your route of flight, no SIGMITs active for your route of flight. Current weather conditions, Kilo, 40 Juliet. Wind, 083 at 4. Visibility, 10. Sky condition, ceiling, 7,000. Broken, temperature, 29. Dew point 15, altimeter 3015 for the destination at your estimated arrival time. Wind 144 at 14, gusting 220, visibility 10, sky condition ceiling 1300. Broken, temperature 27, dew point 21, altimeter 3013 for your alternate at your estimated arrival time. Wind 182 at 9. Abbreviated briefing from your current position.
There you go. So you can actually get the entire briefing with Active Sky, which is pretty cool. Yeah, that's really good. It's very useful, Sergio. And by the way, you can I believe you can put also 122.3. So 122.3 will, let's see. Was it 0.3 or was it 0.7 maybe?
Wind 083 at 4.
Okay, so at 122.7 it will give you the current wind direction and speed at this exact location where we are right now. So those are the frequencies you need to remember for Active Sky: 122.0, 122.2, 122.5, and 122.7. Those are all the frequencies where you will hear an actual broadcast of the weather conditions, which is pretty cool. All right, there's a little bit of turbulence, by the way, but guys, take a look at this. Let me go here. Oops. Oh, I thought it was gonna crash, and I felt like, no, please don't crash. But look at the beautiful clouds here. I mean, this looks pretty nice. Yeah. Bit of turbulent weather today. Look at that wing view, guys. Again, I hope, you know, Laminar continues the improvement. And in the last update, or just moving from the last beta to RC1, so this is 12.05 RC1. Sometimes I wonder why they focus, you know, on like all the changes were on the A330. And it's like, guys, can you please fix issues with performance, you know, with the clouds, with, you know, those are the things that's going to matter to people. And, you know, who cares about, you know, one little texture in the Airbus that doesn't look right? I mean, that's not priority, at least from my perspective. Sometimes I don't know why Laminar does that. I love them to pieces, but sometimes they do strange things. I have to say. Gaidanor, hello, my friend. Welcome. Russ Leslie, hello, my friend. Late to the party? You're never late, my friend. Yes, those frequencies are fixed, Sergio. I wonder if they interfere with VATSIM frequency. They probably would. Maybe not. I think those frequencies are odd frequencies, so I don't think they will interfere. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't think they would. I think you're right, Alex. Yeah, I don't think it's going to affect it. No. All right. If we look at the distance to, let's by the way stow these the tray tables. If we look at the progress page, if I go to performance here, we have the top of descent in about 55 nautical miles. So you know what? Let's go ahead and let's go through the approach checklist. First, we're going to reset the MCP altitude, and for that, we're going to consult our charts again here from Navigraph charts. And if we look here at runway 17, and we want the initial approach altitude is 1,700 feet. We don't need to worry about the frequency. Let's see here. So 1,700. And the missed approach, climb to 600, then climbing right turn to 3,000, direct non-VOR and hold. Continue in hold to 3,000. So 3,000, we'll set 3,000 as the missed approach altitude. Final approach course 169, and of course everything else will be automatically, the approach course and ILS frequency will be set automatically by the Mcdu. So the only thing we need to do is reset the MCP altitude to 17,000 feet. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. We're going to set this to 1,700. All right. All right, 1,700 set, and let's do the approach checklist. Minima 321 set, engine mode selector is normal, and the approach checklist is complete. All right, perfect. Thank you very much, Air Kerber 001. I am very humbled. I'm very thankful and very happy that you find the channel useful. Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, lunch was nice. Trains can go, yeah. We'll make sure the cabin crew comes now and collects everything in preparation for landing. Cabin crew, prepare cabin for landing. Right, we should begin our descent shortly. Want to thank you all for flying Frontier, and look forward to welcoming you on another flight. Yeah. All right. So I think on Tuesday we're going to be doing the stream with Marco from Xcrafts, and then we're going to go back and do a few Microsoft Flight Simulator. I think I haven't been doing much Microsoft Flight Simulator lately, and that's for a good reason. And one of the main reasons, guys, is there is just so much content for Microsoft Flight Simulator. And I hate to repeat, what other people's do. So I'd like to remain very niche and very, and offer something valuable to you guys. And I know everyone is doing Microsoft Flight Simulator, and every little piece that comes out, you'll see like hundreds of videos saying the same thing, and all the news and all of that. So yeah, not my thing, really, not my thing. So yeah, for that reason, I wanted to focus a little more on X-Plane and showcase some of the new things that are coming. By the way, there is a Cessna 172 package. Obviously, it's a realism package that changes the flight model completely. Now, I've had this add-on for X-Plane 11, and it was recently made available for X-Plane 12. Free of charge, and when I downloaded it, I was actually very impressed with how the Cessna 172, what changes brings to those Cessna 172. I'll probably make a video on it in the near future. Also, something new, well, not new, but the guys over at Rotate have released the MD-80, the Rotate MD-80 for X-Plane 12. And much to my surprise, it was actually, you have to pay the full price for the aircraft for X-Plane 12. It's not a new plane by any stretch of the imagination. And as much as I love the guys that Rotate and I love their work, I do not agree with the decision that, folks should pay, $59.95 or $60, close to $60 for the aircraft if they already own it. I think it should be a free upgrade based on what I have seen. There isn't anything new in the aircraft. The textures are the same. The cockpit has changed a little bit. Sounds are the same problems that were there in the X-Plane 11 version are carried over to the new version. So practically, they only brought in the X-Plane 12 adaptations to the aircraft. Nothing else really has changed. And if anything has changed, it's not visible to the casual eye, without a doubt. Maybe they fixed a few things that I don't know, but I was a little bit disappointed, I must say. When I love, by the way, the Rotate MD-80. I think it's one of the best add-ons created for X-Plane. But having the Leonardo software, and I flew the Leonardo software in P3D, and I've flown the aircraft in Microsoft Flight Simulator, it's a lot better in terms of the depth of system simulation. I mean, still you have the Mcdu, you don't have the dual FMS in the MD-80. Still, if you make changes on one, it changes the other as well. And the same, problems that we saw. In fact, there are a few bugs that they need to fix on a previous flight that I've done in order to test it out. It all of a sudden started changing the time of day and, making, like fast forwarding the time and all sorts of strange things happening with that aircraft. So I am not going to stream it anytime soon, guys, until I give the developers some time to maybe iron out some of the issues. But I don't know if there's if you have saying it's $25 upgrade fee for 12. Captain Lee, so it's good that they have that, that you buy it for 25, but I still think that's not a fair ask. A fair ask would be if, some improvements would have, were made to the aircraft, you know, some fixes, maybe a new sound set that justifies why, you know, folks should pay $25 for an upgrade fee. And I do understand the business model. I do understand developers have to make a living. I do understand that very much. And by the way, I love the guys that Rotate. They're very kind. They're very nice. But from the consumer perspective, why should I buy, why should I pay $25 for something that I've already paid? And so I have to pay Laminar for the new XPlane-12, and then I have to pay for all the add-ons again. So that's just not fair in my view. All right, folks, we are going to begin the descent here, and we're going to do a nav descent. There we go. Here we go, and we have now begun the initial descent towards Pensacola, and yeah. I still think the upgrade should be free, or other like 5 USD or 10 USD I'd be okay with. I think charging 25 is absolutely, Captain Lee, absolutely. Said planes are not that easy ported to XPlane-12. Zibo is still fixing stuff that XP12, and believe it or not, Alex, you see, here's the thing. Yeah, that's very interesting what you just said, because Zibo is completely free, and look at how many updates we get. The Rotate MD-80 hasn't really received that much updates from the day it was released. Few issues were fixed, but pretty much everything was left the same. And $5, I would agree with Captain Lee that $5 as an upgrade fee would be suitable, but 25 is a big no-no in my book. Yeah, that is not acceptable in my view. From a consumer perspective. Now, I would love to support these guys and pay them $100 for the upgrade. I don't mind. But just to be completely fair to the community, I don't think that's a fair ask price for something that hasn't changed. I understand, by the way, porting to XPlane-12 it's no easy task. That I understand. But, and I understand that they need to get some compensation for the work that they've done, and that's perfectly okay. But charging a premium for just an upgrade that offers nothing new is not acceptable. As simple as that. Do you think this is better than the FF-A320? No, it is not better than the FF-A320. I will tell you that the Toliss aircraft is very good. It has excellent depth of system simulation, but it does not live up to the depth of system simulation that is you said the flight factor. It is definitely better than the flight factor, but it's not better than the Phoenix A320. I know they are different aircraft. They're the A3. This is a Neo, and that one is an A320. But the things that are simulated in the Phoenix A320 is just amazing. The things they've done, they've looked at everything. I'm sure they had help from real-world Airbus pilots, because the fidelity and the depth of system simulation is second to none. And by the way, the FS Labs, in my view, and you don't have to agree with me, from the systems perspective, not from the visual perspective, but from the systems perspective, the FS Labs is better in terms of the depth of system simulation. So it is in terms of fidelity, it is better than the Phoenix A320 in a very subtle way. So it's not by a long shot, but there are some things in the FS Labs that are simulated that are not simulated in the Phoenix. And yeah, so from the visual perspective, of course, the Phoenix wins hands down, no question. So if I were to rate the Airbuses that we have today, I would rate in first place if I'm looking strictly at the systems, I would rate probably the FS Labs to be number 1, and followed by the Phoenix, followed by the Toliss, followed by the Flight Factor A320. That's how I would probably rate them. Boundless is now releasing packages for X-Plane 11 and X-Plane 12, and that's a good thing to do. Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look at the outside real quick. Guys, look at this beautiful scene here over the state of Florida. And this looks really, really nice. Yeah. Look at that. I mean, that's the only thing that X-Plane really needs. It needs some orthos, and, you know, we've got our clouds, and that's about it. All right, we can see the airport now. We're down to 23,000 feet. And let me see here just... the next checklist is actually the landing checklist. So there is the before landing flow that we need to perform. But we are pretty much good there. Everything's set. Again, very highly automated aircraft. The Airbus, not as much as the E-Jet Embraer E170 as we witnessed during the stream. I love the automation on that aircraft. The only thing they haven't done yet is the managed speed. And just imagine that you have managed speed as well, and then pretty much, you know, it's like hands-free. You know, you don't really need to do anything. The aircraft simply will do everything. You just really have to take off and land. And I'm not sure it's got auto land or not, but yeah, it's excellent. It's really excellent. Auto ortho. I know a lot of you guys have been asking me about auto ortho, so I'll take a look at that, Sergio, for sure. Jafar, how are you doing, my friend? Update X-Plane 12 for FlyJSim 737-200. I haven't seen it. Has it been? Is it there? What about Fly-by-Wire A320? Fly-by-Wire A320 comes somewhere in between, probably after the Flight Factor A320 in terms of the systems, but it's very good. It's very good. Yeah, I'd probably put it at par with the A320 in terms of the systems. But by the way, flight model wise, the Toliss has probably the most accurate flight model. So it's really brilliant. And again, this is coming from real world pilots. This is not my statement. Gold Gamer, how are you doing, my friend? Welcome aboard. Jafar, I really don't know. I'm not sure if that's a question or you are actually giving us a piece of info. As far as I know, there is no FlyJSim 737 yet for X-Plane 12, and I sure do hope they bring up the entire lineup of aircraft for X-Plane 12, because I think one of the most successful add-ons is the 727. I love the 727 by FlyJSim. Everything from FlyJSim, by the way, they haven't done that many aircraft. If you look at they've been developing for a very, very long time, but they are very concerned with quality over quantity. So, you know, they really take their time to develop their add-ons, and the final result is, you know, never. They always meet the expectations of the community, I think. Yeah. It's still not there. Dwayne, hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you with us. We are now getting pretty close to our destination airport, Pensacola, in the state of Florida. And if we look here, 55 nautical miles for the top of descent. Barrow 23015 is set. And we're good here. We're going to change this to 40 nautical miles now as we approach our destination. We've been, by the way, flying for 45 minutes. And it's been exactly 1 hour since we pushed back out of our position in Tampa. I'm getting really excited about FS Expo, and it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun activities. But what's most important for me is to meet you guys. So that's going to be the ultimate for me. I don't know if I am going to be doing live streams or anything like that. I probably would when opportunity permits, but we'll see. Installing auto ortho seems to be kind of tricky.
It is, yeah, it is. My best mate, Blake, he is always a good friend to me, and as we are best mates, we are putting our arms around each other. Okay. You can actually install it on a different drive and point it with symlinks and custom scenery. I see. Yeah, I'll probably make a tutorial of that. All right, we are at 15,000 feet, folks, and we're getting pretty close to our destination airport now, Pensacola. Yeah, let's take a look at the outside real quick. Some overcast here. I like this livery. I like the turtle. Yeah, looks nice. All right. So one of the questions that that is always I kind of always wondered about it is, when do you actually turn on the seatbelt sign? Is it at 10,000 feet or when exactly? Now, if we look here at the destination, or if we go to the progress page here, all right, so we have let me see here, performance in it. Hang on. All right, flat. All right, so normally, you know, at 10,000, so most airlines do it at 10,000 feet, but from an account from a real-world pilot, it's 10,000 or about 30 nautical miles from the airport. So, or beg your pardon, 30 minutes, 15 minutes. When you are 15 minutes from the airport, and if you look here, the time here shows 19:29, and we're going to be arriving at our destination at 19:41. So 15 minutes before that is a good time to turn on the seatbelt signs on, or at 10,000 feet, depending on the airline instructions in that regard. So we can turn them on at 10,000 feet. That's okay. Oh, is it minimum 18K for my air carrier? Oh, we have another real-world pilot with us here. Welcome. Good evening to you, Paul. I'm glad you're enjoying the stream, my friend. All right, let's verify the QNH at our arrival airport. So let's go to information. The weather altimeter is 3013, so we're a bit off. So let's change that to 3013. Is now set. We are at 10,000 feet, just there, and so we're going to turn on the landing lights, and fasten seatbelt signs are on. And you can see the aircraft is decelerating to 200 and probably 40 knots, 50 knots, because we are approaching 10,000 feet, and that's the maximum speed allowed below 10,000 feet. And once the speed here stabilizes, then it will begin the descent once more. Right, we are looking good. Right, here we go. Sending again. ILS 17. And we are 30 nautical miles from... Alright, so we can actually start reducing our speed manually. If we look here at our flight plan, we are here and heading to... So this is 236, and then from Brent, we're going to go to 149. So we're definitely going to do a manual intervention, and then switch back to managed speed before landing. Yeah, very cloudy. It's a bummer when it's that cloudy, because you can't really see the beautiful true Earth scenery by ORBX, but that's all right. Hello, Kevin. Welcome, my friend. It's hard to ignore a stream that says real world procedures. James Minton, how are you doing, my friend? I hope I've done a good job so far, brown over blue, from the real world procedure perspective. All right, here we go. Our 7 nautical mile ring is now appearing. We are at 8,000 feet. And what I'm going to do in just about, let's see, we are 15 nautical miles, 23 nautical miles. All right, we'll begin reducing our speed in a little bit. We're actually pretty close now to the destination. By the way, we need the landing system. Normally this is done with the Mcdu preparation. So the first thing you do with the Mcdu preparation for the approach is you change this to constraints. And by the way, now you can see all the constraints here, 1700, 2600, so you can see those. And you also turn on the LS, the landing system, on. Right, we're looking good in terms of our altitude. That's the airport. Everything's looking good. Currently doing a VATSIM flight on the call sign KLM 14 Quebec, is it? Gotta do something on cruise. Right, looking good. 6,000. So the let's see here. Yeah, the only checklist that we have in the air is the landing checklist. So we'll begin with the flows in a little bit. And what I'd like to do momentarily in about 5 nautical miles is reduce our speed to 180 knots. Flights in life, how are you doing, my friend? It's definitely less turbulent here. It was getting pretty nasty just about 15 minutes ago. Descending nicely to 1700. And all is looking good. All right. All right, I'm going to go in and now we're going to change the range to 10 nautical miles, as you can see here, and I'm going to reduce our speed. So we're going to go to manual speed, and I'm going to reduce our speed to 180 knots. There we go, 180. We're below the glide slope, so let me use the speed brakes here to help reduce our speed. Right, good. Speed check, flaps 1. extend the speed brakes. All right. Let's take a look here. We're going to turn on the runway turn-off lights. Nose light to takeoff. All the lights here are good. Auto brake to medium. And speed brakes, we can arm them in just a second here. Speed check, flaps 2.
2,500.
All right, and we're going to arm the speed brakes. And we can go to approach. Excellent. Looking good. Localizer captured. Looking good. There's the 7 nautical mile ring. And at the 7 nautical mile ring, we will deploy the landing gear. So we will... There we go. We're actually pretty close now. Glide slope is active. And landing gear is coming down. Right, we're gonna go to manage speed. Speed check. And flaps 3. Visibility is not the greatest. Speed check, flaps full. And the landing checklist: cabin secure, auto throttle speed, go around altitude is now set to 3,000. ECAM memo, we can cabin crew cease for landing please. And ECAM memo, landing no blue, we are cleared to land runway 17. Can definitely feel the wind here, gusting winds as we come into land. Call me Sticks, how are you doing, my friend? Welcome aboard. All right, we can see cabin ready. Wow, the wind is very strong. All right, 1,000. Autopilot disengaged. My aircraft. Lovely approach into Pensacola. Wow, the wind is so strong.
Above. Minimum 200. 100. 50, 40, 30, James.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pensacola International Airport in the state of Florida. All right, we've made it safely. Very, very challenging landing. And the winds were gusting, and it was fun. I tell you guys, it was a lot of fun. All right, let's retract the flaps. I'll remember to open the logbook. A lot of you guys are telling me if I open the logbook, then we can do the replays. So that's what we'll do today. One of the things I like about this airport is the grass. I think the way it's done looks very nice. Very easy on performance as well. Overall, pretty nice. The ground textures, for the most part, are done very well. I think there are a few things I spotted, but yeah, it's like such as this one here. But overall, is pretty nice. All right, let's go and start the APU. APU master is on. We can turn off those lights and runway turn off lights. This one goes back to auto. This goes back to taxi. Let's start this. Seatbelt signs, everything can remain. And yeah, all is good here. All right.
Q436, Iraq, Romeo, Alpha, Alpha, Kilo, Kilo, Q440, the Hopper, Hotel, Uniform, Foxtrot, Foxtrot, Romeo, Direct Dakota.
Right, I think that's a good place for us to park the aircraft.
Alpha, the Quebec 138.
By the way, SAM ground handling does not detect this aircraft.
Tango, Lima, Yankee, direct Delta, Delta, Yankee.
All right, parking brake is set, and we are not going to shut down the aircraft yet. I'm going to turn on the APU bleed, but I'm not sure what to expect in terms of the replay. So let's try to do this. A lot of you guys are telling me to open the logbook before we do the replay, so let's do that. Where is the logbook? Is it here? Open logbook. Okay, so that's the logbook. We opened it, and all right, so we're going to close it, and now we're going to attempt to do the replay. Toggle the replay, and fingers crossed. No, it did not work, unfortunately. That's like the third stream we do where, you know, we fail to do a replay of the landing, which is really a bummer. But nice scenery. Gonna pick this one up when I get home. Perfect. What I'll do, folks, is we're gonna load again, but this time we're gonna load directly in. I'll load another aircraft, so just that it doesn't take too long. What am I doing? We don't need ORBX. We need X-plane. All right, so no ORBX. Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, this is one of the things I hope that Laminar addresses. Again, the underlying engine of X-plane, I tend to think that it's not very good. The code is not very good. It's just way too buggy. And yeah, still can't do those replays, unfortunately. All right. So let me take you guys to, we're not going to open the Toliss. We're going to bring up the 17, this is the new one. This is the one I told you about, EFM. But let's go ahead and open just the Skyhawk. And what I'll do is I'm going to go to KPNS. All right, that's KPNS. Excellent. And we'll take it to the general aviation. New ramp start, that's fine. And we'll say start. Okay. I think, okay, that's fine. It's going to take a little bit of time to load because of the ORBX scenery, but hopefully not too long.
But I hope that you guys really enjoyed the stream. Is your True Earth scenery compatible with X-Plane 12? Not officially. I haven't had replay issues recently. Wonder why that is. It could be a lot of different things, brown over blue. It could be the ORBX scenery that I'm using. It could be, one of the aircrafts that has not been updated. It could be a lot of different things. But what I've noticed that is the problem happens randomly. It doesn't always happen, but sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I know for a fact that it doesn't happen. That it does happen a lot when I'm streaming, and not so much when I'm not streaming. So there could be a correlation with Streamlabs OBS, but I really don't know. I can't really put my hands on it. But we'll see. We'll see. So preparing world hopefully won't take too long. All right, there we go. Perfect. Now what I wanted to show you guys as part of the stream is this scenery. Now there are some really nice things and there are some things that can be improved. And by the way, what you're seeing here as we go, you see how the grass goes away. That is not a problem with the scenery. That is a problem with ORBX because this is not a supported version in X-Plane. But when you look at the grass, look at that. I mean, when you look at the grass from a distance, this looks really, really good. I think it's done very, very well. I do like the positions, by the way. I've consulted real-world footage of the aircraft. I've looked at the airport charts very carefully. Everything is in the right place. Everything is where it should be. All the parking positions have been modeled. So that is something I do like a lot. And it's got the buildings over. You've got the control tower here. Some nice clutter here. Again, some nice placements of buildings. You've got the control tower area. By the way, ORBX is some things don't look right because of ORBX, not because of the scenery. But I think overall it fitted very well with the ORBX True Earth. So I decided to do the stream with it. It's got some nice static aircraft. The buildings, in my view, could use a little more, in terms of the textures. They could use a little bit more work, in my view, to make them look a little better. So definitely in terms of the layout, it looks really, really good. If we go to the main terminal here, I think this is where the scenery really shines. I love the fact that the rooftops look exactly like they do in real life. So nice work. They're placing the UPS 767 there. The main terminal is modeled with, I think the accuracy is very good. It's not excellent, by the way, just from my point of view, but the scenery overall looks very, very nice. If you like to fly in this region, this is very nice. I love the fact that it places the trees that you would actually see in, in Florida, those nice palm trees. The Hyatt Palace is placed in exactly the right place. And it looks pretty much like the real hotel as well. The parking area of the airport is again done very well. Nice to have also the cars on the multi-story parking area here. And in terms of the texturing overall, I do like the texturing. I do like the ground textures, but I will point out a few things I hope they can be fixed. One of which I spotted over here. If you look down here, look at this, doesn't look right, right over here. But overall, nice ground textures. If you look at the textures, ground textures are done quite nice. Some issues like this one here need to be ironed out, but nothing too serious. Again, if you look at the corners in just about where the taxiway ends, this doesn't look very right to me, so this probably needs to be fixed. I will get Hafiz. Sure. These are some things I noticed. There are some issues with True Earth. I see. Yeah, some issues with True Earth for sure. But overall, guys, if you like to fly in Florida, this is really an airport that I recommend. It's a nice airport, and I personally like to fly from Key West to Miami to Florida, Florida to Tampa. So it would be really nice to have this as part of the collection as well. Overall, very nice airport. And if we switch this to nighttime, so let me change the time. And let's see here. All right, so we're going to change this to nighttime. And just look at how beautiful this airport looks during night. Ooh. Explain appears to have terminated unexpectedly. Submitting the report helps the developers. All right, let's help the developers. Okay. All right. Let me attempt to do this again. Maybe I'll turn off Active Sky. That's probably one of the reasons why it's not behaving very well. So we'll turn it off. That's okay. And we'll attempt to open it again. Yeah, I mean, this is expected again in when you're using a lot of stuff that is in beta or things that are not supported, such as ORBX. Yes, guys, Captain Lee is the developer of the scenery. Yeah. All right, let's start. All right, we'll try to change the time, but using the menu, not the in-sim sort of fast forward. But I think you guys have have gotten a general idea about the airport. Let's see if we can load it quickly here. Again, guys, as a reminder, we are going to be doing a stream on Tuesday. With Marco from Xcraft. He will be showing us around, telling us a little bit about what it takes to develop an aircraft for X-Plane and what his experience is like. And if you guys have any questions, please do prepare them ahead of time. And I will post a community in the community tab of the channel asking you guys to, kind of prep the questions for Marco. If there are questions that maybe he needs to prepare for, that he can have some time to prepare. So I'll post it right after the stream. And please do post your questions so that we can answer them during the stream. Okay, so we're back at the scenery. And what I'm going to attempt to do is I'm going to change the time here. All right, so let's do that and say apply. There we go, much better. All right, so look at the beautiful night lighting here of this airport. This is one of the highlights of this airport is the night lighting. It looks really, really good. I love it. Just really, really nice. And this is the main terminal again during nighttime. I think the night lighting is done well. Again, no hit on FPS, by the way. When you change the time, you can see again the nice. Let's see here. You see the nice animation here. Again, very good attention to details on the jetways, on the overall look and feel of the airport. Ground textures are quite nice. They need improvement in some areas, as I pointed out, but nothing too serious in my view. But the grass is what I really love about this airport. Just coming to land in your favorite general aviation aircraft would be really, really nice. Overall, good effort from the developer. And I hope that he continues to improve on it. It's definitely one that I would personally purchase, which I, by the way, purchased. But yeah, I do recommend this airport. It's a nice little airport if you like flying in Florida. Again, here is a quick look at the terminal area. There we go. See, nice. Again, as I pointed out also, I think the building textures could use some improvement as well. I know probably there is a lot that the developer has to account for in terms of balance between visual quality and performance, but definitely bringing higher fidelity textures to the airport buildings will make this a much more appealing airport, in my opinion. And overall, just really brilliant. Yeah, look at that. Look at this time of day with the sky color coming into land here. That looks really nice. Look at that. And by the way, if you approach from the seaside here, just look at that. Yeah, that looks really, really nice. Makes for a very nice approach into Pensacola in the state of Florida. Look at that. Beautiful approach. Yeah. And that's the kind of top-down view of the airport. It's a large airport. Look at how big this is. Now, one thing, again, a note to all the developers, and I think this is not an exception here. With all the airports, what I would love to see, you see how there is the ortho for the airport that is created for the immediate vicinity only of the airport. What I would like to see, and I know that this is going to consume space, but maybe add it as a separate file, is I would love to see the area, at least the immediate area surrounding the airport. So if, let me zoom out and tell you what I mean. So if you consider that this area from about here all the way coming down here and all the way here is covered with ortho for the airport, that would be great, because it would really make the approach a lot more interesting, especially if you're flying without orthos. I would really love to okay, so sorry, Captain Lee, you're saying, can you have a little more sunset going on and get the sun reflecting on the ground? Yeah. Let's see, how do we do that? All right, let's see here. Let me do that. And let's see. Is that what you maybe we need to remove the clouds. Not sure if that's what you want me to do. All right, let's come over here. Yeah. Oh, I can see the reflection here. Overall, really nice airport. We can, by the way, go here to. Let me do this. Let me come to customize, and we're gonna say clear. Apply. No, let me delete those cloud layers. So we're gonna delete this cumulus. Delete cloud layer. All right, done. Apply. Still wants to show it. All right, there we go. All right, here we go. I think that's what you were referring to. I can see the reflection of the sun there on the buildings. Yeah, is that what you were referring to, Captain Lee? Perfect there. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, I think we can see the reflection. Look, guys, look at this. The sun reflection on the rooftop here. Looks great. Looks wow. Yeah. Overall, very nice scenery. Yeah. Well, I want to thank you very much, Captain Lee, for sticking around for this live stream. I want to thank you all, guys, for being here this evening. I hope that you've enjoyed this live stream as much as I enjoyed streaming it for you. I hope that you found it insightful and useful. And it's time for me to hit the sack. So until next time, please take care of yourselves and each other. And I will see you all very soon. Thanks for tuning in, and bye-bye for now.